involve quite a bit of travel and dealing with mitre 10s and things like that. So I think the aspect of selling into stores like that probably gave me a good grounding in building relationships and things like that with suppliers. Yeah. Yes, first business. Yep, it certainly was. Yeah, it's pretty scary at the time. Like, we had a young child, and my wife hadn't been working. She'd been off on maternity leave, so it was it was either do or die pretty much when I signed up. Yeah. It's certainly, I've probably found the last 24 months, like 24 was pretty tough, and this year's just been certainly even tougher. I'm grateful that I've been in business for 8 years and have built up a good name and reputation, and relied on a lot of repeat business. I've also tried to, as much as I can, diversify where I get my work from. So, obviously we're lucky we've got so many good partners and things like that. But recently this year I signed up with like Builders Crack and stuff like that, just to try and, get as much work in as possible from as many different areas as I can. But 2025 has, for myself, has just really had to hustle as much as I can to keep going. Yeah, so thinking back, like 8 years ago, there was only literally a handful of us. We probably had 4 or 5 partners or something like that. There was no toolkit, there was no Galvin to call. It was sort of a bit of the Wild West. There wasn't too many procedures or anything like that. It was just sort of, there you go, you're set up and go for it. So in some ways, like, I look at that as a potentially good thing. Built up a lot of resilience. There was no one to sort of lean on and things like that. But looking at it now, our network has grown so much and there's so much support. It's like it's the chances of success now are so much greater, that there's just so much more support and things around Raptor and the guys. Look, I think one of the main things looking back that I would probably do, it was hard for me at the time, but I'd probably try and align myself up with someone who I get along with well, like an experienced guy or something like that, who I can turn to. We were talking about it before, like often when you've just started up, like if you don't have a job on for the day, I'd find an experienced guy and I'd just go out with him for the day or something like that, and just try and continually upskill myself, and just get that experience. You might not be making any money for the day, but if you're out on the job, you're getting that experience and things like that. So looking back, that's probably one of the main things I would have done. I guess the main thing is it's sort of an attitude thing, I basically always try and tell myself, turn up with the right attitude. Obviously you brought into the franchise, you got to ask yourself, what's your why? Like, why did you join up? What are you in business for? Did you just join up to sit on the couch when it rains or whatever? Or, did you sign up to get out and do some hard work? A couple of times I've found guys have just signed up in a business and automatically think, I'm now a director of a business and I'm going to earn a shitload of money and all this sort of stuff. But it just doesn't work like that. It's certainly what you put in is what you get out. So if you're going to wake up on a rainy day and think, I'm not going to work today, then there's no money going in your bank account really. So I also like to try and set smaller goals as well. Like, I might have a weekly goal or a monthly goal, and I know if I have a day off on a rainy day or whatever, then I've got to try and make it up somewhere else. So it sort of gives me motivation if I want to try and reach that goal to just keep going. My long term is I'm keen to stay with Kitset. I'm sort of at the stage now where I've probably reached a level where I potentially can't grow my income too much, so I'm pretty comfortable with where I am, but I just want to continue being a credible and relied upon service provider in Wellington. You know, I'm also at the stage now where I'm happy to try and give back to any of the new guys and help out where I can as well. Yeah. A few little gems that I've sort of picked up over the last 8 years, and one of them is when you first start, don't get too fussy about what kind of jobs you're doing and things like that. Like I know when I first started, man, I was doing tiny little, even like $50, $60 jobs, you know, and my thinking was, you know, if I'm sitting on the couch, I'm not earning anything. I'd rather go out and at least do something. So one of them would be, you know, just don't turn down anything, no matter how small it is, when you're first starting. Whenever I try and do a store visit, before I go in, I'll always try and set a little goal. Like I won't just go in there just to have a chat to the team and stuff like that. So I won't set a goal like, oh, I want to try and get all their work or anything like that. I'll set a goal like, oh, you know, I might want to get my brochures into their, you know, visible store, or, you know, I want to make an appointment with the manager or something like that. So something measurable that you can come out and you know you've achieved in a store visit. And then also with store visits, especially if I'm going into a store that I haven't been before, make sure you're talking to the man. And so the man, it could be a woman, is basically the person who is able to make decisions in the store. And I would always initially try and target that person who was the manager, or, you know, was able to make decisions on what happens in the store. And then I would sort of filter down from there and talk to the rest of the staff. Get your quotes through within 24 hours. I've noticed a massive, you lose so many more jobs if you get a quote within a week to if you get a quote within 24 hours. I find it incredible if you get that quote in as soon as possible, how likely you are to convert the job. So that would be a massive piece of advice. Don't just sit on that quote, just get it through. And often the customer, if they get a quote through, they'll just go for it, you know, because they've got the price there and they're happy with it. So yeah, if you leave it for 7 days or whatever, you know, the customer's sort of forgotten about it. They might have accepted someone else's quote. So yeah, so if you get like an email through from head office or something asking to quote for something, yeah, definitely try not to sit on it. It's if you can get it through that same day or within, you know, 24 hours, it's massively beneficial. When you think about it, in New Zealand, there's probably only like literally 50 or 60 guys in the country that can actually do what we do. So, you know, I sort of think of us as like the elite of shed builders and the skills that we have. So yeah, don't forget that. Be really confident in what you do, because there's not many other people around New Zealand that can actually do it. And make sure you leverage your skills as well, and make sure you know people. You know, make sure they know what you can do, and yeah, just be super confident in it, because we're a handful of guys that have specialist skills. Yeah, that's about it really.